Primum opifex, altus prosata ad terram viviparum et concupiscentum, sine ullae pudore nec venia suscepto pluviali, atque disinctus perisomatus datibus iudis uti nati, frisant sesse ad proprinquans, flens in Germans, in manum suam evacuavit, highly prosy, crap in his hand, postea animala nihau exoneratus classicum pulsans stercus proprium, quod appellevat. Dejections sues invasolum honorabile tristitia posuit eodem sub invocatione fratorum geminorum medadi egodari leata ac melliflu mengzit psalmum qui incipit lingua mea calamus scribe velocita scribentus magna voce cantitans. In the pistes he was dejected as to be exonerated. Demum ex stacore tupe cum divi Orianis incudidante mixu cocto frigoric exposito and costum sibae fecit indelible faked lions, the indelible ink. Then pious Ennius, conformant to the fulminant firmum which enjoins on the tremulos Trerian, that when the call comes he shall produce nichthymerically from his unheavenly body a no uncertain quantity of obscene matter not protected by copyright in the United Stars of Urania, or bedeed and bedewed and bedang and bedung to him, with his double dye brought to blood heat, Gaelic acid on iron ore through the bowels of his misery, flashy, faithfully, nastily, appropriately, this Essuan Menshevik and the first till last alchemist wrote over every square inch of the only foolscap available, his own body till by its corrosive sublimation one continuous present tense, integument slowly unfolded all marry-rising mood-moulded cycle-wheeling history, thereby, he said, reflecting from his own individual person life, undivable, trans-accidented, through the slow fires of consciousness into individual chaos, perilous, potent, common to all flesh, human only, mortal, but with each word that would not pass away, the squid self which he had screened from the crystalline word waned chagrin old and Dorian Greyer in its dudhood. This exists that exists after having been said we know, and dabble take dab now, and the dal dabble dab al dadabal. So perhaps agglomeratively as a spanking after all, and Arglast for Arglist on his last public misappearance, circling the square for the death fate of St. Ignatius, poison ivy, of the fickle crowd, hoppin' the 6th day of Hobbes' sober, kill 'em, O king, lay 'em low, and brandishing the bell-bearing stylo, the shining keyman of the wiles of change, if what is sauce for the sassy is sauce for the zazaras. The blonde cop who thought it was ink was out of his depth, but right in the main. Petty Constable Sisterson of the Quees Croon Kraal it was, the parochial watch, big the dog, and the dig dog, the bog, the bagger, the dugger, the beggar dag, Dagger Bug, who had been detailed from Pollute Stoties to save him, this the quem, that the quum, from the ligature libelous effects of foul clay and little clots, and mob mauling on looks, that Wrong counted the tender foot of eveling near the living means on yum get therum. Nook Marie, Comte Mia, reeling more to the right than he lurched to the left on his way from a proto-prostitute. He would always have a stoop. Little pigeoness bois, with his arch girl, chorus, smock name of Murgit, just as he was butting in round the corner of bad times, under a hide full between the rival doors of warm battles of worship through his bordel house fongster. Greeting for grazes always as usual, where ladies have they that a dog means sort herring. So go search me the incapable reparteed, with a self-effitant subtlety, so obviously spurious and raising his hair after the grace, with the Christmas under his clutch-arm, the portsy massa and pertsy messes, and pertsy miss, and partsy masters, like a prance of Finnegans, with the shilto-shalto, slipney, stripney, inny-skittled, swikey, the all-white poor's guardian palpably of Baltosic Stimung, was literally astounded over the painful sake how he burst the self, which he was gone to where he intend to do, he whether you think he will, wherein the whole current of the afternoon, what's the souch of the search, hads of hits of hymns, urgent staggered thereto in his country ports, of the Caledonian capacity, for loyo to Fisky of the Kaftan's wineskin, and even more so, during looking his bigmost astonishments, it was set him ashchew. Fun the concerned outgift of the dead med dirt, how that our beige bibbers, conspuent of the dominical order, and eching noblish permish, he was namely coon at bringer at home of 2 gallants, as per royal, furl poultry till his murder, nip up and nab it. Paul the Geist, cost on her hobloits. Kick? What, mother? Whose porter? Which pair? Why, namely coon, but our undiligence has been plus or us were tested. So enough of such porter black, lowness, too base for print, Nick. Perpetuating that perpetuic apostle pulls the cold stone out of the winter wait waters, and sail the seas, sing for Haring our king, sept Octov des John Phibbs, March. We cannot in mercy or justice, nor on the love arm of labyrinthos, stay here for the residence of our existings, discussing tab star ham of 10 men's thirst. Justice to him, mother. Brown is my name, and broad is my nature, and I've breed on my brow, and all's right with every feature, and I'll broon this bird or brown Bess's bungs gone bandy. I'm the boy to bruise and braise, bouse. Stand forth, Naaman of Noland, for no longer will I follow you oblique-like through the inspired form of the third-person singular and the moods and hesitancies of the deponent, but address myself to you with the imperative of my vindictive, provocative, and out-direct. Stand forth, come boldly, jolly me, move me, zwillig though I am, to laughter in your true colours, ere you be back for ever till I give you your talking to. Shem McAdamson, you know me, and I know you, and all your shemeries. Where have you been in the utterim, enjoying yourself all the morning since your last wet-bed confession? I advise you to conceal yourself, my little friend, as I have said a moment ago, and put your hands in my hands, and have a night's long, homely little confiteor about things. Let me see, it is looking pretty black against you. We suggest, she Mavic, you will need all the elements in the river to clean you over, it all under fortifying Pope's priest's power, bull of a tender to boost. Let us pray. We thought, would, and did, quicquid, ubo grando gramodo, quoties gribus auxilius. You were bred, fed, fostered and fattened from holy childhood, up in this two Easter island, on the pie jaw of hilarious heaven, and roaring the other place, plunders tonight of you, plunders what's left of you, flash as flash can, and now forsooth, a nogger among the blancards of this dastard century. You have become of twosom twy-minds, forenenced gods, hidden and discovered, nay, condemned, fool, anarch, ego-arch. High as the ark, you have reared your disunited kingdom on the vacuum of your own most intensely doubtful soul. Do you hold yourself then for some god in the manger, Shehoem, that you will neither serve nor let serve, pray nor let pray, and here pay the piety? Must I too nerve myself to pray for the loss of self-respect to equip me for the horrible necessity of scandalous sang, my dear sisters, are you ready? Bow sloughing off my hope and tremors while we all swim together in the pool of Sodom. I shall shiver for my purity, while they will weep big for your sins. Away with covered words, new Solomonites for old Badsheet Baz. That inharmonious detail, did you name it? Cold, Caldor, G, victory. Now a pro of underslung pipes. John Jacobs, while yet an adolescent, what do I say, while still puerile in your tub suit with button legs? You got a handsome present of a self-raising syringe and twin feeders. You know, Monsieur Abgot, in your art of arts, to your cost as well as I do, and don't try to hide it. The penal's lots I am now poking at, and the wee sort of was, you should, if you were as bold a stroke now as the curate that christened you, sonny douse the candle. Repopulate the land of your birth and count up your progeny by the hungered head and the angered thousand, but you thwarted the wise pish of your co-godparents, Soph, among countless occasions of failing. For, said you, I will elenchate, adding to the malice of your transgression. Yes, and changing its nature, you see, I have read your theology for you, alterating the morosity of my delectations, a filtered love, trying my tantrums, small piece in pen mark, with sensibility, sponsibility, possibility, and prostability, your Lubbock's other fair pleasures of a butler's life, even extruding your strabismal apologia, when legibly depressed upon defenceless paper, and thereby adding to the already unhappiness of this our popiled world, scriblative, all that too with cantreds of countless catchalines, the manishers many as the miniful, congested around and about you from acres and roods and poles and perches, thick as the fluctuant sands of Chalwaddo, accomplished women, indeed fully educandid, far from being old and rich behind their dream of arrivissima, if they have only their honour left and not deterred by bad weather, when consumed by amorous passion, struggling to possess themselves of your bouche, one son of Sorga for all daughters of Angris. Solas cum sola siva, cunctis cum omnibobs. I'd have been the best man for you myself, mutely eyeing for hat natural not, debutary vases or vessels preposterous, for what would you not have cost you 10 bolivars of collywalk, or the price of one ping-pang, just a lilt, let us trilt, of the oldest song in the wood-world. 2-1, 2-1, accompanied by a plain gold band. Hail, hail, how bosom-heaving, Mistress Borna, of the all-sweetheartening, bride-moored demeanour, her eyes so gladsome we'll all take shares in the groom. Sniffer of carrion, premature gravedigger, seeker of the nest of evil in the bosom of a good word, You who slept at our vigil and fast for your feast, you with your dislocated reason, have cutely foretold the Jophet in your own absence, by blind pouring upon you many scalds and burns and blisters, impetiginous, sore, and pustules, by the auspices of that raven cloud, your shade, and by the auguries of rooks in Parliament, death with every disaster, the dynamitization of colleagues, the reducing of records to ashes, the levelling of all customs by blazes, the return of a lot of sweet-tempered gunpowder dust unto dust. But it never struck your mudheads obtundity. Oh hell, here comes our funeral, oh pest. I'll miss the post that the more carrots you chop, the more turnips you slit, the more Murphys you peel, the more onions you cry over, the more bulf beef you birch, the more mutton you crack a hack, the more pottabs you pound, the fiercer the fire and the longer your spoon and the harder you gruel with more grease. To your elbow the merrier fumes your new Irish stew. Oh, by the way, yes, another thing occurs to me. You let me tell you with the utmost politeness, where very ordinarily designed your birth-wrong was to fall in with plan, as our nationals should, as all nationalists must, and do a certain office, what I will not tell you, in a certain holy office, nor will I say where, during certain agonizing office hours, a clerical party all to yourself, from such a year to such an hour, on such and such a date, at so and so much a week, pro anno. Guinnesses, may I remind, were just a gulp for you, failing in which you might have taken the scales off boilers like any bus-cop of yours can do your little threepenny bit, and thus earn from the nation true thanks. Right here in our place of burden, your board of travail and vial of tars, after a divine's prodigence you drew the first water gasp of you in your life, from the crib where you once was bit to the crypt you'll be twice shy of, same as we, long of us, alone with the colt in the corner, where you were as popular as an Armenial with the faithful, and you set fire to my tailcoat. When I hold the paraffin smoker under yours, I hope that chimney's clear. But slackly shirking both your bullet and your billet, you beat it backwards like Boulanger from Galway. But he combed the grass against his stride to sing us a song of alibi, the cut-thrown call over the grey-bounding, slow-rolling, amply heaving metamorphosius that oozy rocks power-bangle their preposters with nomad mooner by lamplight antinos shumming amid everyone's repressed laughter to conceal your satchel by mating like a thorough-paced prosodite masculine monosyllables of the same numerical Muslim Irish emigrant the wrong way out, sitting on your crooked sixpenny stile, an unfrilled frocked quackfriar. Will you for the laugh of Shakespeare, just help mine with the epithet, semi-Semitic serendipitous. You, thanks, I think that describes you. Europeanized a fairy tank. Shall we follow each other a step longer down with daggers, whiles our liege, till yet a stranger, in the front yard of his happiness? Is taken, he'll help her, one gob, one gap, one gulp, and gorger of all his refreshment. There grew up beside you amid our orisons of the speediest in Novena Lodge, Novara Avenue, in Patropodium, Am Brummel, oaf, out of work, one removed from the unwashed savage, on his keeping and in yours. I pose you know why Possum hides his cause. He hain't the nogum triumchin, that other. Immaculatus from head to foot, sir, that pure one, Altrus of other times, he who was well known to Celestine circles before he sped aloft, our handsome young spiritual physician that was to be, seducing every sense to self-willing celebesti, the most winning counterfoil of our income share lottery, a chum of the Angelettes, a youth those reporters so pettily wanted as game fellow that they asked his mother for ittle herbs proper to let him tome to tinder tartan, peas and bring his scouter along, and then they were all real brothers in the big just right home, where Dod lives, just to terrify the life out of him, and pat and pass him one with the other like musk from hand to hand, that mother's smothered model, that good looker with not a flaw, whose spiritual toilettes were the talk of half the town, for sunset wear and night fallen use and day broken, donning and noon cheon, showing and the very thing for tease time. But him you laid low with one hand one fine May morning in the middle of your might, your bosom foe, because he must your spellow on you, because he cut a pretty figure in the focus of your frontispects. Not one did you slay, no, but a continent, to find out how his innards works. Ever read of that great grand landfather of our vision builders, Bebu the bourgeois meister, who thought to touch both himmels at the punt of his vision stiff staff, and how wishy-washy sank the waters of his thought? Ever thought of that heviticalist Barkin and the two sissy maids, and how bulkily he shot the Ructions gun of all? Ever hear of that Foxy, that Lupo, and that Muncax, and the virgin heir of the Morrisons? Blethering ape? Malingerer and luxury collector general, what has your lowness done in the mealtime with all your hamilcars of cooked vegetables, the hatfuls of stewed fruit, the suitcases of coddled ales, the parish funds? Me shame a man that you kitty coax so flexibly out of charitable butteries by yowling heavy, with a hollow voice drop of your horrible awful poverty of mind, so as you couldn't even pledge a crown of thorns to pawn a coat of trevies, and as how you was bad no end, so you was, so whelp you sinner pitra and sinner pool, with the chicken's gape and pas mal de siècle, which, by the by, Rinaldo, is the ordinarily emetic French for grenadier's drip, to let you have your plank and your bone-wash, oh, the hasted roubles you lost, to give you your pound of platinum and 1,000 thongs a year, oh, you were excruciated, in honour bound to the cross of your own cruel fiction, to let you have your Saturday spree and whole night sleep. Fame would come to you twixt asleep and awake, and leave to lie till Paraskevy and the cock-crow crows for Denmark. Oh, Jonathan, your stomach! The simian has no sentiment secretions, but weeps cataracts for all me. Pain the shyman, oft in the smelly night will they wallow for a clutch of the famished hand, I say, them bearded Jezebels you hired to rob you while on your sodden straw impolitely you encored, Erish and Noah Bogalesh, those horn-made ivory dreams you revved of the roof you called your companion, a beauty from the Bible of the flush-pots from Euston and the hanging garments of Marlemone, but the dormer moon she smiles serene and the light throwers naked, whose whinging we comport yourself your inconsistency. Where was that little alimony nest egg against our predictable rainy day? Is it not the fact, gainsay me cake-eater, that while whistle-whirling your crazy allergies around Temple to Mount Joinstone, let him pass, please, good Jerusalem, in the bundle of straw he was baptized after haymaking you squandered among underlings the overload of your extravagance, and made a Hottentot of Dulpeners cross-sick with your crumbs? Am I not right? Yes, yes, yes. Holy wax and holifer, don't tell me, Leon of the Fold, that you are not a loan shark. Look up, old sooty, be advised by Mux, and take your medicine. The good doctor mulled it. Mix it twice before repastures, and powder 3 times a day. It does marvels for your grippins, and it's fine for your solitary worm. Let me finish. Just a little Judas tonic, by gem of all jokes, to make you go green in the gazer. Do you hear what I'm saying, Hammett? And remember the golden silence gives consent, Mr. Ankle Gazer. Cease to be civil, learn to say nay. Wished come here, Herr Studiosus, till I tell you a wink in your ear. We'll do a whispered drive, for if the Barish Nia's got a twitter of it, they'd tell the house tops, and then all Cadbury would go crackers. Look, do you see your dial in the rocking glass? Look well, bend down a stigmies till I... It's secret, Iggy, I say, the Bousaliers. I had it from Lamppost Shaw, and he had it from the Muller, and Mull took it from the Bluecoat Schooler, and Gay Scots. Socks jotted down from Potterfoe's wife, and Rantipole tipped the wink from old Mrs. Bullet. And as for his, she was confused by pro brother Thacolicus, and the good brother feels he would need to defecate you, and the flimsy follets are simply beside each other, and Callie, Kenny, and Keough are up in her arms, that a cross may crush me if I refuse to believe in it, that I may rock anchor through the ages if I hope it's not true, that the house may choke me if I beneighbour you, without my charity. Shem you are, you are mad. He points to Deathbone and the quick Castile, insomnia, somniorum, amaum. Mercius of himself, Domni Vopiscus. My fault, his fault, the kingship through a fault, pariah cannibal Cain. I who oathily forswore the womb that bore you, and the paps I sometimes sucked. You are ever since have been one black mass of jigs and jim-jams, haunted by the convulsionary sense of not having been, of being all that I might have been, or you meant to becoming, bewailing like a man that innocence, which I could not defend like a woman. Lo you there, Cathmon, Carberry, and thanks, movies from the innermost depths of my still attrite heart, wherein the days of your youth are ever mixed be mine, now ere the complaint hour of being alone at hands itself, and a puff or so before we yield our spiritus to the wind, for though that royal one has not yet drunk a gouttelet from his consummation, and the flower-pot on the pole, the spaniel pack in their quarry, retainers and the public-house proprietor, have not budged a millimetre, and all that has been done has yet to be done and done again. When's the day's woe, and lo, your doom joy day dawns, and la you dominate. It is to you, firstborn and first fruit of woe, to me, branded sheep, pick of the warts, waste paper basket, by the tremors of Thundery and Ullovan's dog-star, you alone, wind-blasted tree of the knowledge of beautiful and devil, I clothed upon with the meteor and shimmering like the horse grens, astroglod dynamonologues, the child of Nilfit's father, a Beelzebul, to me unseen blusher in an unseen, obscene coal-hole, the cub-billabum of your secret sigh, dweller in the down and doubtermost, where voice only of the dead may come, because ye left from me, because ye laughed on me, because, oh me, lonely son, you are forgetting me, that our turf-brown mummy is a-coming, all pillar, bell-tiller, sill-tiller, del-tiller, running with her tidings, old the news of the great big world. Sonny's had a scrap, woe, 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 baby's baby walks. At 7 months, way, 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 bride leaves her raid at Punchenstein. Stood stone before racecourse full, 2 bells that make the one appeal. Dry Yanks will visit old sod, and 4-tiered skirts are up. Mesdams, while Power McNee wears popular short legs, and 12 hows to mix a tipsy wake. Did you hear Colt Cooney? Did you ever Philly Fortescue? With the beck with his spring, all the rill ringlets shaking. Rocks drop in her tatchy, tram tokens in her hair, all wave to a point, and then all innuendation, little old-fashioned mummy, little wonderful mummy, ducking under bridges, bell-hopping the weirs, dodging by a bit of bog, rapid shooting round the bends by Talac's green hills, and the pools of the Fouca, and the place they call it Blessington, and slipping by sly by Sallynoggin, as happy as the day is wet, babbling, bubbling, chattering to herself, deludering the fields of her elbows, leaning with the sleuthering slide of her giddy-gaddy granny ma, goshy paces, and Olivia. He lifts the life wand and the dumb speak. Quoy, 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 quoy.